Alright. Welcome. How's everyone doing out there tonight? Just getting everything set up here. We're gonna get some random objects tonight. You know, we're gonna have some fun tonight. It's clear. I think we're gonna have some fun. I think one of the things is that we're not gonna actually go for the, you know, the most common objects. Actually, I'm having problems with the QHY, so give me 1 second. Let me take a look. Hang on, I just gotta think that. Pull that up here. Let's look at the camera here. Hopefully it didn't move it too much. So I think it did. Let's take a look and see here. Oh, it didn't move much at all. Okay, good. Welcome, Bobby. Let's take a look and see. Alright, that's better. Okay, good. Oh, good. Alright, perfect. Okay, good. There we go. Alright. So, the first object of the night is NGC 6229. And this is a globular cluster that we're going to be getting. Now, it's not as big as the Hercules. Not as big as M92 or M5 or any of them out there. But it is a fairly good object. It actually sits not too far from M92 either, so. And what we'll do is we'll take a quick exposure here on this camera here. We'll take a 14-second exposure, just so I can see where it is on the one camera. And then we'll take a quick exposure on the other one too. There we go. Just to see where it is on the sky. But we got it dead center in both of them, so we should be in good shape. Alright, let's see here. Camera on the right. Just gonna change the histogram here. And may have to change the focus on both of these too, which is not a huge deal. Yeah, focus definitely needs to be changed on this one. There it is right there. That's it right here. On the camera on the right. Okay. And on this one, it's going to be this one right here. Okay, there we go. Let's get the guider set up. See if we got a good guide star here. Oh yeah, we got a great guide star. I just gotta fix the focus on it because the focus is atrocious on the guider, but I might be able to. That should be okay. Now let's try that and see if that works. That should be good. So again, we're going to be getting it's a mini globular. Not the biggest globular cluster around, but again, it's NGC 6229. It's just off the constellation of the Hercules. Sits at about 9th magnitude. It sits at 99,000 light years away. And yes, Genghis Khan, that is a cluster. We are just in the midst of starting the guiding. It'll look a lot clearer once I get the guider up and running. Its diameter is 130 light years away. And of course, its approximate size is 4.5 arc minutes. Yep, it's on both of them. So we're just calibrating the guider right now. We're just about to hit the east step right now. And then we'll get the focus up and running, and they'll be ready to go. Now we're doing the east step. I do. I should be in good shape for tonight. We should be in good shape. It's just calibrating. We're just about done with the east step, and then we're going to go to the north, the south, and we'll be ready to go. Alright, now we're doing the north step. Alright, now we're heading south, and we'll be ready to go. Let's get this ready. How much did it move? Let's see. We're gonna look at the camera on the left, and we're gonna see how much it moved. It's gonna move a significant amount just because of the calibration. Let's see here. Oh, not too bad. Okay, that's not bad. What about this one? How did this one do? Definitely have to fix the focus on the QHY. That's okay. Alright, so now we're guiding. Well, let's see what it looks like on single exposures. Let's see. That's pretty good. That's much better. Okay, good. So focus on that one is good. What is the focus on the one on the right? Let's take a look and see. We may have to fix that. Yeah, it's just a little bit out of focus. Okay. Let's get that fixed. We will fix the camera on the right. Hi. Alright, that's good enough for me. Let's take a look and see what the stars look like here on the screen on the right here. Let's see here. Tried to focus this as best as I could. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, cool. Alright, good. Just take a quick exposure again. There we go. Fantastic. And there we go. There we go. Alright, now we're set. We're centered in both of them. Perfect. Alright, so now you can see the stars are oblong like that only because I had the guider off. Now that the guider's on, you're going to see these stars turn into dots. And we should be in good shape. And we're taking a 50-second exposure on the camera on the right and a 12-second exposure on the left. Much better. Okay, good. And that's the globular cluster right here. Try just a 2-minute exposure here on that one. We could try a 1.5-minute exposure on the other one, or 1:20. And hello, Kitsune. In 10 seconds and we'll see what this looks like on the camera on the left. That looks really cool. Nice. Alright, what do we got on the camera on the right? It looks like it's still a tiny bit out of focus. Ugh. I thought I focused it. This looks great. The stars look phenomenal. So what we'll do is we'll take short exposures, because with this star cluster, the center looks like it's blown out. So we'll use the gain of about 2.7. Just see here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll lower the gain down, and we'll take just 1 minute exposures. We'll see what that looks like. I don't want to blow the center out too much. Alright, let's see what this looks like. I got about 20 seconds. And we'll see what we get here. Again, this is just a 1 minute exposure at a gain of 2 on luminance on the camera on the left. We'll see what it looks like here. I'm hoping that we don't get a blown out center. Oh, perfect. That looks great. Oh, that's perfect. And you can see how the center is not blown out and how they got stars that are inside of this. That looks great. Alright, so that's what we'll do. And we'll take about 30 of them. There we go. We're going to take 30 of these. 31 minute exposures. It's really nothing too serious. With the other camera, again, it's out of focus. I took the cable off of it, because I gotta glue it on. I gotta fix that. I got them both centered though, which is great. Zane, I see you. Zane just texted me saying, say hi. Of course, naturally, you know that I'm right here. Well, you're good. We're just starting. We are just starting for tonight. We are good to go for tonight. And of course we got NGT 6229 right now. People are shooting off fireworks already. It's not even July yet. Of course, we can always fix the curve. And of course, that's it right there. So again, we're just taking about 15 or 20 of the images of this one for NGC 6229, and then we can move to another object. We could try for... Let's see, what could we try for next? Oh, satellite just went right through. Let me see. Just checking to see if there's any other objects around. Oh, by the way, that's not pulling up my carte du soleil, which is weird. Let me see why that's not pulling up. why that wasn't pulling up, but I got it. There we go. I don't know why that wasn't showing up for some weird reason. Don't know why, but I fixed it. Okay, looking good. So we're at right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 8 of them right now. I'm just waiting for the big stuff to come up because we're about maybe 20 minutes away from getting the really good stuff.
I never should have kissed you. I never should have done that. But I couldn't resist you. Never felt like that girl, I swear. I probably just want
That turned out really good. Look at the stars. Perfect. I'm gonna go get a drink, so I'll be right back. Just give me just a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Don't know why I do this. Don't know why I let you play me. But I guess that it is your kid who made me fall. Yeah, I don't blame me. I know that I should run. Can't make
Alright, I'm back. Okay. Had to get a drink of water. Alright, now what we'll do next is, now that we took about 15 or 16 of these, now what I want to do is, I'm going to do a longer exposure. We'll do a 3-minute exposure, so now it's going to get a little bit brighter. So this will be a little bit nicer. Are there any suggestions? Any suggestions for objects for tonight? Skywatcher Heritage 130p. While trying to collimate it, I accidentally removed the primary mirror, but managed to reinstall it. It works. Yeah, planets are going to be a little bit tough. To buy a collimator, that's pretty easy. I mean, you could definitely take a look. There's a lot of places, eBay, Amazon. Definitely be able to get a collimator right from there. And again, what that just does is it aligns your primary mirror with your secondary mirror to the eyepiece or the camera. Are there any budget cameras you could recommend? Well, I would say the best way to do it is if you're looking for planetary, for budgeting, NextImage would be your best bet. That takes very short exposures where you're doing frames per second, because the objects that you're getting are very, very bright, like Jupiter, Venus, the moon, of course. Naturally, you want to get ones that take super fast exposures. If you're going to be doing deep sky, that's a different story. DSLRs are usually a great way to do it, or you could do entry-level CCD cameras. The ZWO series is really good for budgeting. It's called NextImage. I'm going to type it in the chat for you. There's the NextImage 5, or the newest one, which is NextImage 10. 10 is a lot better, and then the software that you would use for that would be, if I try to remember correctly what it was. I think it's iCap. iCap is what you would use for processing, well, not processing, for the image software to take images. And it would come with the CD. So in other words, if you were to get the NextImage 5 or NextImage 10, it has the CD which has the capture software for it, which is really nice. again, like I said, for entry level for CCDs, and the CCD is a cooled coupling device. That's what these two cameras are here. They're naturally cooled. They're in a chamber that's sealed with argon gas inside of it. And that means these cameras can get well below zero. The one camera here on the right is running at 35 below 0 Celsius. And the one on the left is running at about 15 below Celsius. Below zero. For iCap, no. iCap is a free software, which is nice. DSLRs do not have cooled, so the problem is when you're going to be taking those outside, and say it's a 80 or 90 or 100 degree night, you have to add probably 20 or 30 degrees on top of that, which means the sensor, they have a temperature sensor inside the camera, which monitors the temperature inside the camera. And without having a cooled device inside of it, it can heat up really fast, which causes a ton of noise. That's why when you see these CCD cameras, there's barely any noise in these images. So like I can zoom in, you know, this is taking a 3-minute image, and I could zoom in to 200%. Okay. So that's the image right here, but you can see that there's barely any noise in the image, which is what you want. Yes, the cameras need to be very cool. That's the thing. That is the goal. Noise reduction would be, you could do in post-processing. I wouldn't water cool it. I mean, I've seen people do it with their DSLR cameras. I mean, where they actually, it's called a cool box. At that point, you're spending more money than you can even use, in my opinion. At that point, the money that you're going to spend to get that camera cooled, you might as well go with an entry-level DSLR. Like I said, the ZWO series is great. They have the 290, they have, I think it's a 320. They go all the way up to the 1600. Pricing, of course, naturally varies depending on what camera you want. And then, of course, there's also monochrome or color. So depending on what you want to do. And again, like I said, it's all what preference of what you want. One person may want to do planetary, another person wants to do deep sky, the other person just wants to do star clusters. Somebody wants to do dark nebula. I mean, it all depends, and it also depends on your sky too. That's the biggest thing. If you're in dark skies, by all means, go for it. You know, that's the best. If you're not in dark skies, it's going to be a little tough. I have the 1000D, 4000D, it's an 18 megapixel camera. It came out about 2 years ago. It's not a bad camera. I mean, it would be good. The image sensor size on it is 22 by 15, that's a good size sensor. So your maximum resolution is 5184 by 3456. The camera on the left there, I'm running at 46 by 35. So the sensor on that camera would be a little bit bigger than the camera that I'm running on the left. So it's not bad. I mean, that's a decent sized camera. For videos, it would be a little tough. Because you're looking at such faint objects, it'd be a little tough. Yes, 1000D is and I have the 1000D that's modified. Yes. Best way to do it is to go to Cloudy Nights. It's cloudynights.com, and you'll be able to get that from there. You could check to see. Yeah, it's a very, very, very expensive camera. I mean, if you're on a budget, it's expensive. I'll tell you that. You could probably get it for about $300 to $400. The cameras that I'm running right now are dedicated cooled coupling devices. These are dedicated solely for astronomy. Here, let me change the histogram on the right. They're still shooting off fireworks. And you can see it right there on this camera right here. So it's right there. You can zoom it in just a little bit more. That's it right there. Yeah, the 1100D is $450. So the two telescopes, because I'm running a dual setup. So Tom, what I have is the one on the left is it's a 61 millimeter Zenistar apochromatic refractor. The one on the right is an 80 millimeter Zenistar apochromatic refractor. So they're both refractors. And the two cameras are the Meade Deep Sky 4 and the QHY9. Oh, shit. Yawning. Yes, it's the Meade Deep Sky 4. So they're both William Optics. They're William Optics telescopes. One's a 61 millimeter, the other one's an 80. The one on the right, we have a focal reducer and a field flattener on there. So the corners and the edges are going to look crisp and nice. What the focal reducer does is it expands the field of view just by a little bit. That's what we call the F ratio. So my F ratio on the right is f5, but with the focal reducer I can get it down to f4. The lower the number, the shorter image, and you'll get more data. So you want to be between 2 and 4, preferably. So this way you're not taking so long to take images. The goal is to get as much data as possible in such a very limited time. These are really good cameras. These are... I have not had any problems with these cameras at all. None. Now what we could do next is we can move to a different object. Go right to, let's see, because the Cygnes is up, so we can get a whole bunch of objects in that area. Yes, lower number is good. And how you do that is you take your focal length of your telescope. That is the distance. Now it should read on your telescope what it is. Okay? You take your focal length and you divide that by your aperture. Okay? Yes. You can. By all means, that's what I would do. And that's what a lot of people do with the Next Image camera. Those Next Image cameras are preferably just about $100. They're not that expensive. And you could use those getting those very, very, very fast images. Like 30, 40, 50, even 60 frames per second. And what you do is when you take those images, then you could stack them. You can use what's called a program called Registax. Alright, I'm going to type that in for you, because there's a lot of programs you can use. Registax is a great program where it takes the video, and then it uses each frame individually. It takes the best ones. So then you can use those, and then what it'll do, it'll throw out the old ones, and then use the best ones to get a nice crisp image of the planet or the lunar that you're imaging. Okay. So I'm guessing it's from a camera. Well, it's image stacking. Stitching is if you were going to do a mosaic. Alright, so we're going to move the telescope. So again, we were getting 6229. Now we're going to move it. So we're going to go and get... We'll make our way down. Now we've gotten M92 before. Tom, do you want to see M92? Because we can get M92 real quick. Alright, let's see here. I'm just saving the images now. Saving the one on top of the other. Okay. We're going to stop the guider. Okay, so we stop the guider. Okay, now we're going to pull up the video mode now. Get this all set up and ready to go. Crank the gain up to 20 on the camera on the left. Alright. And now we're going to move the telescope. Now everything is stopped. We're just going to do a short hop, skip, and a jump. Let's see here. Okay, there it is. I just now got to get it in the center of the screen. So that's easy to do. Oh, wrong way. So now, Tom, what we're doing is just getting this in the field of view. So if you see it on the camera on the left, it's hard to see right now because we're just taking just a quick 5-second exposure. But we're just getting this into the center of the frame. That should be good right about there. Alright, so now we got it in the center of the view. Okay, perfect. So this is M92. So we're going to take, again, a 3-second exposure. Or 3-minute exposure, I mean. And we'll go with that one. So we'll take the 2 images. And again, this is going to be for M92. Second is what you probably read exactly. Would a Barlow lens help give you twice the magnification for taking pics? You got to be careful with that. The way that I would do it is if you're going to do a Barlow lens, make sure you do that with only planetary. I would not do that for deep sky. Been about all month, but finally a clear night allegedly tomorrow. Well, good. Good. Alright, so it's taking an image on the left and the right. And we'll see what we get. And again, this is M92. And the way that I do it is I have this mount calibrated where I can get something right in the middle of the screen or pretty darn close to it. And then it's just a matter of just centering it and getting it dead on. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you. And we'll see what we get here. We got about another 60 seconds here on the camera on the left. Camera on the right's got about another 2 minutes. First thing I ever saw with the telescope, of course, naturally anybody's going to say is the moon, which is actually physically true. Yeah, so I got the moon was the very first thing I ever saw. Second thing, of course, naturally, again, I followed suit with everybody else. It would be Saturn. Saturn was the number 2. Naturally. Seeing the rings for the very first time was just, to me, it was breathtaking. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making our way down. So this is M92. We'll take a couple pictures of M92. I did get a session where I got M92. I took about like 30 images. And then we'll just make our way down. So then right after M92, then we can make our way down to the Ring Nebula. We can check that out, get a couple images of that. Then we can start going after the real crazy objects. Hence, we can try the Crescent. We could do the Satyr Complex. We can do the Pelican. North American Nebula. There's the Veil, but I think the Veil is just a little too low right now. We've got to wait about another couple of weeks before we get that. We could probably add a little bit more exposure time to the Fireworks Galaxy, so we could probably shoot that, get that for everyone. Yes, I've seen a bunch of meteors. Yes, many, many, many times. That's why I have the external hard drive. I have about 5 terabytes where I can use external hard drive. Plus, I also have 2 terabytes from the cloud. So I have quite a bit. Alright, so this here is M92. So that's going to be on the camera on the right. We'll try to get that centered there. So again, this is M92. The camera on the left should be just about done in about 40 seconds. And the field of view on it would be like this. So it's fairly big. And you can see it's not completely centered. Centered would be right here, but I could take that. So M92 is a globular cluster. So it's one of the bigger ones that you can see in the sky with your telescope. M13 is the gigantic one. M13 is the Hercules cluster. M92 is the next biggest one, I think. Then you have M5. You have M25. There's a bunch of them out there. Best field of view for a beginner? It depends. It really depends. So let's see here. We'll scroll this down just a little bit here. There you go. Now you can see that the core is blown out only because it's so big and so bright. Yes, I've seen Andromeda. We'll be getting Andromeda probably in about a month from now. Andromeda's rising right about at this time. For me to get anything, you're looking at about 35, 36 degrees above the horizon. So to be where I want to be for imaging, you're probably looking at about 3:30-ish a.m. So it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get that. Yeah, so again, this is a globular cluster, so you're going to see a bunch of stars. And then what I could do is I can change the histogram here and make it darker. Change this down here. Oops, too much. There we go. There we go. And that's just a 3-minute exposure. I mean, that's pretty darn good to be. Best things to look for this month, well, what's going to be coming up is anything in Cygni. That is going to be your best right now. There are so many objects in Cygni that you're going to get. The next biggest one will be anything near Ophiuchi. That is pretty good out in that area. Is really good. Anything in Cygni you're talking, and I have it on the bottom left hand of the screen. I can. Here, what I could do is move it out there. So right there is M92. So like where at the bottom left of the screen, that little blue square, I have my little cursor right there. The M92 is right there. My telescope's pointing just a little bit off of it. Right there. Now, if I were to scroll down, okay, you're going down. You're in the Hercules constellation, and you keep going down and over. Okay, so now you're going to start getting into the light blue. This is where you're going to start having the center of the Milky Way. Okay, and then you're going to start getting into Valpicula. Okay. And with Valpicula, you have this right here. This is the Veil Nebula. It's a Veil Nebula complex. Yes, Messier 92. Correct. That's what I'm imaging right now. And then if you go above this, this is where you have it's Cygnus is the name of the constellation. So there it is. There you see Cygnus on the bottom left. You have Deneb, which is the bright star that's right here, right at that's part of the Summer Triangle. Then you have the North American Nebula right here. And you have the Pelican, which is right here. And then if you scroll over, you're not going to be able to see it too well. It would be in here. The Crescent Nebula would be right in here. It'd be like right in this area right here. I'll go a little bit further out. Why, thank you, Chris. And we could zoom it in more, too. We can go to 300%. That's at 300. No, it's not an emission nebula. This is just, it's a star cluster. So what this one is, it's a whole bunch of stars. It's like a stellar nursery is in this. So the target we're getting... Oh, yeah, I should change that. My bad. Haha. We were getting NGC 629. Now we're getting M92. Whoops. There we go. I forgot to change that. My bad. And then now what we'll do is we'll make our way, we'll move it again. So what we'll do is we will move to the ring. So force stop that. We'll stop the guider. Stop that. Yes. Well, Crescent is hydrogen gas. What's crazy about this is you can actually see M92 on my 5-second exposure. That's this thing right here. So it's taking a live 5-second exposure. And what I could do is I could zoom this in. That's it right there. That is a 5-second exposure. Now it's going to be moving because it's not guiding. So you're going to naturally see this start moving down like this way. Watch it move. See how it's moving like that? Because the guider is not on. So you're actually having the Earth's rotation. So the next thing we're going to do, go back to 20% here. Okay, now we're going to type in NGC 6888. So we'll do the crescent. And then you're going to start seeing the telescope move. And let's take a look and see where we are. Alright, we'll take a quick exposure. So again, what we're doing is we're just taking a quick exposure to see where we are in the sky. See if we're in the right spot, which I think we are. But just making sure. I can't really tell. When you get into a situation like this where you have a dimmer object, where you can't really see everything and you're not sure if you're in that right spot, what you do is, Tom, since you're new to this, and I'm going to make sure, Chris, I've talked to you about it a couple times. Chris is from Astro Live channel, is that you do what's called plate solving. Okay? So, what the plate solving that we're going to do is we're going to tell my telescope where we are in the sky. Alright? So here we go. So it just took an image. We're going to save it as NGC 6888. Okay. We're going to plug it in. That's what this little box at the bottom is. A little box with all the coordinates and everything. This will tell me where we are in the sky based off of right ascension and declination. Okay. So I'm going to go to NGC 6888 and hit plate solve. Yes, and okay. Once it finds it, then we're going to know exactly where we are in the sky. So now I'm going to move this. Okay. So now you see the little circle on the bottom left. That's where I move the mount, where I think it is. Now, I took a picture of where I think it is. What it's going to do is it's going to find the coordinates based off that picture, which is kind of crazy. Yes, this will track. So once I find the target, I have what's called a guider. That's what the graph is on the bottom right. Alright, so it found it. So let's see where we are in the sky of how much it's going to move. So it moved a little bit. It didn't move too much. So we're not far off at all, really. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to move the mount just a slight bit. We're going to move it a hair and then move it over. Okay. And move it up. Right there. Now we're right where we need to be. So now it's literally right on top of the object. So now it's going to take a couple more images here and we'll see where we are. Okay, I think I know exactly where we are. So we're just about right on top of it. And hello there, Mr. James. Oh no, I don't put the coordinates in there. It actually tells me. What it does is it looks at the picture and says, okay, you're off by this much. So now, if I were to take this and then save this image and then do NGC 6, save it again. Okay. plate solve. Okay, here we go. It's very, very, very useful. It makes life so much easier. I don't have to use a finder. I could easily just use this and then just do it. Simple as that. Alright, so now it's trying to find it. Alright, so I found it again. So now we're getting closer and closer. So now the error on it is even better. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get this closer and closer to show you NGC 6888, which it's right there. So it's telling me that we're right on top. So it's this right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to video mode. Okay. And now we're just going to get this centered. Oh yeah, if you come back days later, this is still going to be right where I want it to be. So now I've literally gotten 3 or 4 objects, and I'm not too far at all. It's just a matter of just getting this dead center here. Oh, wrong way.
Tonight I'll reach out and touch the sky. In the city of angels, feels like I'm coming home. With my head up in the clouds, I am searching for something, and I'm still hoping. 'Cause
I'm just getting it centered for both telescopes. Right there, should be perfect. Excellent. So now we got the crescent dead center in the view. Perfect. Alright, now we'll get the guider back up and running. Yeah, the guider, it's way out of focus. You should still be okay. I'll have to fix that on my next stream. Get that taken care of. There we go, and now we're guiding. Alright, now it's settled down. Oh, satellite just went right through. Alright, we'll take a 4-minute exposure. And we'll take a 6-minute exposure. Okay, there we go. Oh, guiding is settled down. No, it was just a satellite that just went through. It's just random. I mean, for the playlist that I use, it's just something I have. I got about a 3-hour playlist, and then I have another 3 hours after this. I have about 65 hours of music that I could use that I just like to use. It's just background music. So with this one, it's one of my favorites I like to put on here. I have a bunch more. I have meteor shower music. I have nice classical music. I have, dance music. Pretty much any kind of music that you're thinking of, I have. And just nice music to get you going for the stars. There we go. Well, that's not too horrible. And it's not bad. I mean, it's a good starter camera. You can't go wrong with that. That would be decent. Alright, so I just changed the title on it to NGC 6888, which is the Crescent Nebula, and it's going to be coming up in about 25 seconds on the left. Yeah, they love the Canon EOS. That is by far your best bet. Because this way it'll have a dual purpose. You'll have not only taking night sky images, but you'll also be able to use it during the day, too, which is nice. Did I not change the... I did it again. It's going to be a white screen again. Darn it! We'll switch that back. There we go. Pull it back, pull it back. I do that once every single night, where I always forget to change the gain. Yes, T adapter, correct. And it's not that expensive at all. It's very... Yeah, the problem is that you gotta watch the gain. If you're taking a short exposure, like a 10-second exposure, you crank the gain up so you can see what you're doing. problem is that if you take a 4, 5, 6, 7-minute exposure at 20 gain, it's gonna be a white image because the gain is just gonna overpower it. So you want to try to get as low of a gain as possible. So I put this back down to 1 gain again, and then take a 4-minute image, and we'll see what we get. The camera on the right is going to be done in about 30 seconds. And we'll see what this looks like. Now, granted, this is a hydrogen alpha emission nebula. I will not be able to see much with the camera on the right because I don't have the hydrogen alpha filter on. The other problem is I'd have to take a 15-minute exposure in order to start seeing some information. And you also have to take the red channel out. Again, this is going nuts and going far and beyond. But again, that's okay. Alright, that image is done. And you're going to see a lot of stars. Okay? The star field is insane for this. Okay? This is what the star field looks like here. Okay? It's quite insane on the camera on the right. Okay? So there's a ton of stars in this. And you actually are starting to see some of the red nebulosity in this. Now remember, with a colored camera, you're not going to get too much detail of the red nebulosity. But it's there. Okay, we'll go... It's just barely out of focus. I mean, it's not terrible. Now where the crescent is going to be is it's going to be right in here. See these 4 stars? You got star 1, 2, 3, and 4. They create like a sideways square. It's going to be right in here. That's where the crescent's going to be. And then of course naturally when this is going to be done, which we have... Oh, it finished. Let's see here. Oops, too much. So I butchered it. I went too far to the right. Whoops. My bad. Alright, time out. Let me center it again. I screwed up. Ha! Alright, so it's these 4 stars right here. Okay. That star right there. Alright, getting it centered. Sorry about that, guys. Oops, wrong way. There we go. I picked the wrong star by accident. My bad. There we go. Much better. There we go. Much better. Now we got the right image now. So the image on the right is going to be a little distorted. Ha! That's awesome. The star designs look so cool. That's so cool. Alright, sorry I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, filters are definitely the way to go if you're looking for, you know, if you have a lot of light pollution. Yeah, those lines. Yeah, the reason why I was taking the image. And while I was taking the image, I was moving the mount to get it just centered. Because I wanted them centered on both scopes. I mean, it would have been fine on this one. It would have been perfectly fine, but I needed to move it over. Like if I were to look at this one here. Okay, and I'll scroll this down. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong image. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Haha. That's why I was having problems earlier. That's why. It's this one right here. I'm like, how come I can't find it? Okay, so it's this one right here. It's 4,000 by 2,500. Okay, it's gonna be right in the middle of the screen here. Stars look great. This is a 4-minute image. Okay. Ah! Okay, this is the crescent right here. Hello, star. Yeah, the camera on the right, we're just waiting for the next image to come up, which will be fine. But if you look at the camera on the left, that is the crescent. Alright, and we're loading a 6-minute image here on the right. What I'm going to do is I want to change the histogram here because it's going to be very bright. Actually, it's not too bad. That's right there, okay. Perfect. What we're going to do is 2 times. And again, the focus is just off by like a hair. But that's the crescent right there. It's incredible that you can get this with a colored camera without any hydrogen alpha filter or anything. It's just a matter of straight up, you can get it. And we'll bring it out just a little bit here. Yeah, so it's right here. Right there. And that's a 6-minute image on the right. Here's what I'll do. I'll bring it down just a little bit more. That way we can get the whole image here, and then we'll take it down to 100%. There we go. Now you'll be able to see it. We'll go 100%. Right there. Perfect. There you go. Now you can really see the detail. Yeah, it does look almost like a banana. It's crazy. I mean, I could get this one the rest of the night. I mean, at 4-minute images, we could just go nuts and just absolutely go freaking crazy with this in the luminance. And what I could do is I could flip this over to hydrogen alpha if I really wanted to. Enhance. Enhance. And again, keep in mind, Tom, this is just a one shot. So what I could do is this. We'll probably end it with the crescent tonight, and then we'll go nuts and we'll get as much as I can with this. But here's the best part, what I can do. Is this. Okay. Let's see. We'll stack these images. Alright, so now, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, is we're going to get this one here. So we're going to save all these images here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stack them. Alright, so now they're all saved. I want to see which ones we got here. So we got 1, 2... What's this one? Let's see where we're at. No, so we got 102 and 505. Everyone else of these can just go. Okay. Alright, perfect. Excellent. Alright, now what I'll do... Alright, so just give me a second, everyone. We're going to get this set up and ready to go. So if you're new to the channel, what I do now at this point is we are going to get Deep Sky Stacker Live up. And what this will do is you'll be able to see the images stacked one on top of the other live. Guiding bounced a little bit, but that's okay. No, I won't be doing darks and flats with this. What happens is when you're doing Deep Sky Stacker Live, what it'll do is it will just do no calibration frames, just solely just doing that. I'm having problems here. Give me a second. Hang on, I'm trying to see here. Hang on. There we go. I was wondering why it wasn't working. There you go. Okay, now we're back. Alright, so now we're going to pull this up. Get this ready to go. Alright, here we go. That took a little bit to figure that one out. Sorry about that. Alright, we're getting this set up and ready to go here. There you go. Alright, so that's just 2 images, okay? That's 2 images. We've taken 2 more. We're going to add 2 more to the list now. Okay? So we're going to add 2 of these here. Alright, get ready. Here we go. So let's watch it. Now it's going to add 2 more, so we'll be a total of 4 images now. Watch the background. There we go. So now it's going to start becoming more prominent now. So now that's 4 images at 4 minutes apiece, so we're at 16 minutes total. Oh god, yeah. Hey Tom, there was about 3 or 4 days in a row where I got like probably 15 objects and just went friggin' nuts. And then there's a bunch of images that I didn't even take yet. Or I didn't even process yet. They're still sitting there. I haven't even looked at them yet. Now what I can do is after this next image, we can increase the exposure. Because guiding is pretty solid right now. Yeah, you can. You can see mostly, if not all of it right now. Now, this is stretching the curves like to an absolute maximum to see it. Yeah. Alright, so we'll wait till this next image, and then we're gonna kick the exposure up 2 more minutes. So we're gonna go up to a 6-minute exposure. And then we'll see what we get here. Well, hello there, Mike. Mike, we're getting the Crescent Nebula. Got about less than a minute, and that one should be done. Camera on the right still taking images too, by the way. And where it is here, it's right here. It starts here, goes all the way across, and goes down this way. So this all will be filled with nebulosity all throughout here, and that's without an H-alpha filter. Alright, so now what we're going to do is now we're going to kick the exposure up to 6 minutes. on the left. And then we're going to kick the exposure up on the right to 8 minutes. Yes. So here's how that works. The camera on the left is monochrome, which is black and white. In order to get that in color, you have to take it in luminance, red, green, and blue. You gotta take it in 4 filters, okay? When you take it in 4 filters, then what happens is then you combine the images one on top of the other, and you get a colored image. The one on the right is already in color, but it has what's called a sky glow filter on it. Okay, so if that makes any sense. Okay, when it's processed, it's gonna be different. You're gonna see it's gonna be different. All right, so now we kicked up both of the exposures. So now the camera on the left now is going to be up to 360 seconds. We're going to go to 6 minutes on the left. Okay, still at 1 gain. The camera on the right is we're going to go to 8 minutes. Okay, and now we're going to add 2 photos that we just took. There we go. Just saving the 2 images here. There we go. So now we watch the smaller image. And now that's going to start getting a little bit more crisper. There we go. It's stacking frame number 5. Okay. Now we're going to stack frame number 6. Perfect. So now we have stacked 6 frames at 4 minutes apiece. That's 24 minutes now. Yeah, Tom, make sure. Definitely subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you let me know. Make sure you comment. And that's fine. Let me know. The next stream, whenever it's clear. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be clear again here. Let me take a look and see when it's clear again. Tomorrow. Tomorrow should look semi-decent, so I should be able to be back out here again tomorrow night. 10 o'clock Eastern time, I should be back out here. You're very welcome, Tom. Stop by any time. You know, I think it's kind of cool, Kitsune. I think it's kind of interesting about all that, too. You know, and how they looked at the stars and how they created the pyramids based off of where the stars were. I think it's kind of interesting. I'd be more than happy to do that. Now you're noticing the camera on the left. You're getting more of a prominence of that nebula than on the camera on the right. Even though you're taking less exposure just because of how sensitive it is. Now granted, I could take it in color with luminance, red, green, and blue, but with it being a hydrogen emission, it'd be best to take this with a hydrogen alpha filter, which I do not have right now. For this camera, that is. I have it for the QHY. So we're taking a 6-minute image on the left and an 8-minute image on the right. So we'll see what we get. Good. It is done. And hello there, Bobby. Welcome. Welcome back. Alright, so this is the 6-minute image. Stars still look good at 6 minutes. Stars look darn good at 6 minutes. Yeah, I'm impressed with the 6-minute image. There you go. Oh, that's epic. That's just a single 6-minute image. That's just crazy. And you could even get some of the detail. Like, this is really fine detail here, but even some of the thinner details, like the actual inside, this is all going to be filled. Oh, it's like a crescent moon. But you're going to see all detail all throughout here. But the stars look just pinpoint at 6 minutes. I mean, it looks really, really good. And then even this looks good at 8 minutes. I'm very impressed with this one. Yeah. So the stars look great in both images. Alright, so let's save it. We're gonna wait for one more to do a batch save. But yeah, I'm very impressed. once we get the next image on here, then we'll be able to do both of them here. Yeah, James, it is coming together. I mean, it's looking really nice. I've always loved the Crescent Nebula. Just the fact that it's so small, but you get so much detail. For PixInsight, no, I use Photoshop, but it's not to say that I'm not gonna get PixInsight in the future. I will get it. Same thing with Lightroom. I'll get a bunch of it, so this way I can expand my horizons with everybody else. The next image should be done very shortly. There we go. So now we have both images up, so now I'll be able to save both of these. And again, these are the 6-minute images. So save them both. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use both of these in the stacking process. I mean, how cool is that? So we're going to add another 12 minutes to this. So they're already 24. Okay, here we go. Let's see what it does. Very intrigued to see what it does here for the stacked image. So we're looking at the little small image. This is image numero 7. Definitely made it darker. I gotta change the histogram on this here. Okay, here we go. Here comes image numero 8. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. Yeah, way too expensive. There we go. Yeah, it's very pricey still nonetheless. That's looking really good for the 8-minute image. We'll go for a little bit longer. We'll keep getting images. We're up to 36 minutes. We'll probably get 2 more 6 minutes and then we'll call it a night. So we'll take the last image here, the last 6-minute image, and then we will call it a night. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I got work tomorrow. I want to get some stuff done, so... Plus, it'll be clear tomorrow night. As much as I'd love to stay out all night. Oh, definitely have had a good night. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic for tonight. I mean, I love getting these objects with the plate solvers. I could just go and plan for the night of what I want to do, and then it takes me 5 minutes to go find an object and do it. Tomorrow I plan on gluing the, oh, excuse me, yawning, the rubber, like the gears for the AccuFocus, and that will be all done. So this way I don't have to keep running back and forth for the focus. It'll be done, and I have to try to figure that out. So we're on to our last image. We got about 2 minutes left, and then we'll be done for the night. Alright, so we just be just about done. We're at 86%, 87 on the one camera, and then the Mead should be just about done, taking its last exposure at 6 minutes. Alright. With that being said, we are officially done. Perfect. Oops, we didn't do that. We'll batch save these last two. This gives me 50 total minutes of this, which is exactly what I wanted. 50 minutes of the crescent. So this is image number 9 being pulled up right now. Oh, it's so much better. And finally, last but not least, image number 10. Perfect. Yeah, the detail is just insanity in this. Granted, I would love to keep going all night with this one, but unfortunately, I can't. What we will do is tomorrow, it is going to be clear, and what I plan on doing is I'm going to get the remaining exposures for the fireworks galaxy, so I can get that. I'll pick up a couple more in luminance, and then we'll do red, green, and blue, and we'll finish that set off. From there, then I think what we'll do is, if we have enough time, we'll go back to the iris and do that one in red, green, and blue, and then we'll complete that set. So, yeah. I think it was a very successful night as always. So, with that being said, we're going to end tonight. So I want to thank James, Bobby, especially Tom. Oh, excuse me. Kitsune, thank you for coming on. Mike, definitely always a pleasure. Star, you were on. Genghis Khan, you were on. Bobby Burgess, you were on. I know Zane was in the background. Zane is one of someone that I work with, and he popped on for a little bit. Of course, he wanted another shout out, but I gave it to him. So, let this song play out, and I'll see everyone tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back out here again, and we're gonna finish up some objects that I want to get to complete the colored set, and then sometime this weekend, maybe either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, we'll have a process party. So with that being said, have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.